Like,
I
is
think
it
it's
like,
gonna be
oh,
from
they
his
just had a
past.
baby, or is it like, oh, somebody from like years ago?
Somebody, I think that, it won't be from that long ago because the child will be young.
Yeah, I mean, that probably, the farther back it is, the less of a big deal it would be. And because he'll be immediately indignant, like, who is the left to talk about family dynamics, you know? And I have been a wonderful, supportive father to what's your name over there for the 3 months that I've known about him or her.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should rate that, like, because that did not even occur to me at all. But I want to make it a big deal if you end up being right. So I'm going to rank that out of 1 to 10. I'm going to put it on as like a 4 of a chance of happening, like a low chance of happening. But
let it be.
Let it be known.
Let it be known, though, that I am clairvoyant on account of the ghosts giving me the gift. Cody, what do you got?
I think that there is not 100%. So this is just sort of like, there's a chance. I think Barry Weiss might get fired. I don't think she's gonna last at CBS.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think she's shown, and there's a new. I don't know if we're gonna watch it. There's a new trailer for her endeavor at CBS. Yeah, and it's I think not gonna get a lot of viewership. I think it will continue to decline the viewership there, and she will not last, or she'll like change course. But
the trailer's like answering the questions that matter most. Has feminism gone too far? Like,
it's wild. And it's like the most important people, JD Vance. It's like, okay,
it's like putting the most out of touch person who's like a millennial, right? So let's find the millennial who's the most out of touch with what the millennial experience is like, and like put her in charge of CBS News, and it's just all going to be town halls with John Fetterman. That's what we want.
Exactly. It's a fascinating. I'm fascinated by it. It's very.
I
very
think that you're right. I am one of the people that found out this week that she used to date Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not part of this prediction, but my head went.
Oh yeah.
Spun around on my head.
I think there's an element that is she's like chasing like YouTube stuff, but it's on CBS, and I think people just like turn it off.
I think that is potentially more likely than mine, but
I don't know.
Jonathan, you're up.
Yes. So mine are gonna be, I don't know if mine are bold or not bold. This one feels kind of bold given his floor, but I'm going to predict that Trump's approval rating dips to 30% or below, which is pretty low. He's at 36% now, but like it's been really hard to break through the floor. My theory is the economy keeps getting worse. Even if when Powell leaves, he's gonna get rid of those interest rates to juice the economy, and inflation's gonna get pretty bad. And I think, and this is depressing, I hope it does not happen, but I think there's a potential natural disaster that is devastating to an American city, and Trump has himself a like Bush Katrina type moment.
Did you just
FEMA's
put a? Oh, that's all part of why that you think the approval rating will go down.
That's what I. This is one.
I thought you were just putting out several predictions in one.
No,
which
I'm
is
trying
a
to
smart loophole.
I'm trying to justify what would put Trump's approval rating below 30%.
Yeah, I mean, it's very likely that
we're not that far from
a disaster like that will happen generally, and the likelihood that he will completely botch it, unless it's in like the one place that he'll like, if it's in Palm Beach,
right?
he'll take care of it and he'll become king for life. But like if it's anywhere else, probably
if it's
not.
outside, I mean, honestly, if it's in the panhandle of Florida, I still think things could be disastrous because DeSantis, et cetera, and what he's done to FEMA, I don't think we'll fully really understand until something
happens where they actually have to do their job and we see the effects of it. Yeah. Although, speaking of inflation, I don't know if you saw, we had this conversation on an episode semi-recently. He said that deflation is bad.
Oh, he did?
Right.
Yeah, he said it out loud. He admitted it. He was like, yeah, we're going to try to bring it down, but we don't want deflation. So he knows.
Yeah, they're finally starting to be like, we should level with people and say that bringing prices down would be bad for various reasons. We're not going to explain it to these rubes, but let's just say bringing prices down is bad. You guys are all fine with that, right?
You're doing great.
There was this poll this week or a few weeks ago that was like very few people in the voting public kind of understand what the negative ramifications of deflation are. And I think 70% said that only if prices go down, not that if they stay stable, but only if they go down would they believe that inflation is under control. And so there's just this huge disconnect between what people want and what is possible, or what politicians actually would want.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you spend a lot of time campaigning about bringing prices down, saying that inflation's bad and we're going to bring prices down. We're going to bring prices down. Out of the gate, prices are going to come down. I do think that has something to do with this disconnect.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
they shouldn't lie so much about that. And also,
Ruh-roh.
maybe it will happen, but that means we're going to be in a recession, and I don't think people are going to like that as much as they think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah. As at a certain point, and they're still trying to say like it's all Biden's fault, obviously, but at the same time, they're also saying it's an A+++ economy. So are you like hamstrung, or like is Biden weighing you down, or are you rising above it all and the economy's doing great? They don't know. Depends on the day.
What a fucking mess. Okay. I'm trying to decide what my next one will be. If it's going to be another big swing or something that I genuinely believe all my predictions.
Yeah,
But,
of course.
I think that Dems are going to sweep the midterms. I'm going to say it.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a
Okay,
full
I'm gonna-
like sweep in the sense that they take the Senate as well.
I think we're going to make a really good run for it.
Wow. Okay.
But I don't think we're going to sweep. We're going to take control of the House for sure. We're going to have historic turnout. We're going to have a really, really fucking great day
Mm-hmm.
on the midterms. That's my prediction. I'm not going to go as far as to say we're going to take the Senate back, but wouldn't be
I
surprised.
agree with you completely.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I predict that we will take the Senate.
Wow.
I'm planting the flag.
Happy New Year.
But also, it kind of depends on how some primaries go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe I'll adjust my prediction when the candidates really fully emerge. But I think there's a big chance.
Well, so who would it? So Sherrod Brown in Ohio, you think is a swing?
Is his name Sherrod?
Sherrod.
I think
I've
it's
always
Sherrod.
said Sherrod.
Sherrod. It's
But
probably
I
Sherrod.
like Sherrod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Okay,
no, Sherrod.
Sherrod. No, that's
Yeah.
not
Sherrod. Oh.
And then what? Tallarico potentially.
Tallarico potentially. I do think
God,
that
this would be the.
I think
the
he would
time
have. It would be. This is the time, and
if
I think
Lexus was
he
ever going to
is
happen.
potentially a candidate who could do it.
Was that your prediction?
No,
Piggybacking off of
but
mine?
my
snuck
prediction
one
is
in there.
related to the midterms, and it's a little more depressing. I predict that Donald Trump will, and maybe this is premature, but I predict he will announce his candidacy for 2028 for the midterms
Mm.
to
Oh.
get people out to vote. I think that he might use that as an opportunity to say, if you vote for Republicans and we keep the House and we keep the
Right, I
Senate,
can be
then
president.
I can be president again.
Mm.
He's already announced that he is going to like make the midterms about him. He's like, I'm going to put my name on the ballot. Like all this sort of stuff he's saying that he's going to really, really have his hands in there. And I think that might mean that he will just announce his candidacy and that he's running in order to get people out and vote.
I feel like Democrats would like that.
I think it might help.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One,
It'd be a
very
gift.
unpopular guy. He'll have an approval rating of 29%. We've
29%. No
by
kings.
that point.
Yep.
And, he kind of understands, based on how he's talked about it, even though this Dershowitz conversation happened or whatever, I think he kind of understands that would be a steep hill to climb, serving a third term. So he would be doing it purely to juice.
Totally. Like Hail Mary stuff for the midterm specifically.
Yeah. Right.
but-
As we're recording, we'll talk about this later. As we're recording, he reclassified marijuana officially.
Oh,
We'll talk about it later.
That's my
we
president.
will.
But Hail Mary
Yeah, we'll
stuff
talk
is
about
what
it.
we're.
Hail
Yes,
Mary
exactly.
stuff.
We'll talk about it later.
That's
earlier.
interesting.
Yeah.
You piggybacked one prediction off of that. I mean, off of mine, I'll say I could see that
Now you go.
if one of my other predictions doesn't come true.
Oh.
You can go right now. Then I'll hold back on mine.
I've got several more, but if Donald Trump does not die this next year, which is one of my predictions.
You think straight
And
up dead?
Sub prediction collapses on stage.
Oh my God.
That I think. So I'll just say I think maybe not dying. But I would say
publicly,
collapse on stage or like a very obvious health event where they're like scrambling and like having to do like maybe they'll do a Dave. I'd love to see them try to do a Dave and get somebody to pretend to be Trump.
No one could pretend to
do
be.
a Biden.
The film.
I'm sorry, do a Biden. Because obviously
Oh, sorry, because
there
it was a
Biden
clone. Exactly.
body
Well, they
double clone
took
we've
that
chatted
from
about.
the movie Dave.
Do a Paul McCartney.
Yeah. The original Dave, Paul McCartney.
I
call me Dave.
I guess I'll just toss out because we all kind of predicted the same thing. I predicted another health event attempt at cover up that they are not able to cover up this time. I mean, they're not able to cover this one up. He's clearly having some kind of thing done with the MRIs in the hand.
Yes.
We don't know exactly what it is, but I do predict something else happening that is unable to be waved away as he's shaking too many hands.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, or it could be one of the things that's happening, like getting worse. The droopy mouth happens more often. Whatever, if it's mini strokes or whatever, like it just becomes more prominent
I guess
and is
the
unable to.
point
hard to
here
ignore, yeah.
being his health will continue to be an issue, and it will be very public. And so while I definitely agree, I could see Cody's happening. Kind of up against the clock here, bud.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's that tension of like, okay, you're dying and nobody
Although
likes you.
Willie
but,
won't be.
you know,
I will say this: the best possible outcome for J.D. Vance is Trump dying close to the midterms or shortly after, because
Sure.
then he gets to be president for a couple of years. He doesn't have the House, so there's no pressure on him to like do anything. He can tamp down the most unpopular stuff. He gets rid of the tariffs. He goes back to regular. He still talks a big game about immigration, but they
100%.
don't do as much horrible stuff. And it positions him pretty well for 2028. I still think
got the
he would be the
incumbent stuff.
underdog, depending on who the Democrats nominate. But I think best possible outcome for J.D. Vance is he gets to be president for a year or two
100%.
with no
It's-
pressure to do anything.
yes.
That's why it's a tricky one, because as much as I want this terrible man to not be president anymore and to be deeply publicly embarrassed, to have great pain of natural causes from natural causes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I do mean it. I do mean natural causes because it won't be satisfying otherwise. I don't want him to have a good life.
Well, he did. He was the president twice. But
Yeah,
He's
as
had-
much
he's
as
a winner. He doesn't win.
Yeah.
as much as that exists in me, the existential threat of what happens if JD Vance has a good, nice run up to the presidency, not so good.
yeah, and he's got the whole tech, all the Palantir folks and all that
Yeah,
world.
and, like, who would-
really? That's why he's there. So like they're waiting. They're waiting for him to die.
Yeah, they are. And there's a lot of people that want that and people that are ready to rally around him and that. But I don't want to think about that too deeply. Does that count as your prediction, Jonathan, for your turn? Or
If you want
do
it
you want to
to.
give another one?
I'll give more.
I just don't want to bull right over you when we all were piggybacking off of the same one.
I appreciate that. No, this is a separate one. This one doesn't involve Trump. John Fetterman switches to the GOP and then tries to switch back when it becomes clear that was a bad move.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that'd be so
This one is
funny.
more of a that would be funny.
Wouldn't that be funny?
I would give that a 2 on my own scale, but
Oh, that would be so funny.
he'll announce it on the Barry Weiss show where she interviews the most
On her
compelling
last
people
episode.
Tonight
with the
on
most
Barry.
compelling ideas.
Oh, there's already a show called Barry and it's good. That'd be
No,
great.
they should totally do
Barry's
that.
They should
over.
do Barry. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene declares that she's running for governor. I was thinking
Of
president,
Georgia?
but I think Governor Kemp's up in 2027,
Mhm.
2000, the year of our Lord.
2027, the year 2027. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe that she's done, is my point. And I think it's too much of a long shot to say that she's going to run for president, though maybe. But governor, perhaps?
Well, let's see. Right now, the primary's May 19th. declared candidates: Chris Carr, Attorney General of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger of the phone call, a few other people. It says Marjorie Taylor Greene has declined, but that could change.
Could change.
She says a lot of things.
But she's
historically
doing something.
She says a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that she's not done. There's no way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that there's any world where she's done. I think that she strategically is leaving at a certain time. That gives her January 2026 gives her plenty of time to start campaigning for something. And so,
or start podcasting.
or
That's
start
always the
podcasting.
other option.
But also, it's not mutually exclusive. So, you know.
Check out Verdict from Tandy Chris.
Should I just go through some of these other ones? Definitely going to happen. Pete Hegseth, he's going to get a DUI.
Oh.
In a fighter jet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's
come
so
on.
dangerous.
He's going to get
Yeah.
a DUI. Come on. He
Yeah,
hasn't
so I
been-
guess that's along those lines. Who's out? Because like there's a that happens in all administrations. It's not like oh my
Yeah.
god, somebody left the administration. That's normal. Obviously the turnover for Trump is higher than a lot of past presidents
In part one, yeah.
in part one. But he's assembled this crack team of loyal freaks, and there's no real serious person in the room. And I don't even think Marco counts at this point as one of those people in the 5 jobs that he has now. So
Yeah.
like, who's out?
Maybe Bond.
Who's gonna? Because I
Pam
know
Bondi.
RFK's got some critics on the Republican Party growing. Whooping cough is now sweeping the nation,
Christ.
by the way. So
If I had to rank them, I'd probably say Kristi Noem. I mean, there's already
yes,
rumblings,
yes,
right?
yes,
Like
Kristi
she's going to be
Noem.
out.
yeah.
It would be hard to imagine Cash staying that much longer now that Bongino's out.
Yeah.
Like, Cash has to
Exactly.
go, right? After
He's
some
got
of
no
these...
podcasting friends anymore.
Yeah.
There's nobody he can trust.
But then
Cash
after that,
should go.
like maybe Bondi, but she's kind of...
She's holding the line. It kind of depends how some of this stuff plays out. I do think Cash is likely.
Because I brought it up because of the Hegseth thing. I think that there's an element of him that is going to increasingly make people in the military uncomfortable and the nation generally uncomfortable. And he's seems very erratic. And I think your prediction speaks to some of that, but not all of it. He's just that way. And I think he could be.
Yeah,
as
there
well.
are still
I will
Republican
say-
medical doctors who are like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, and I will say that I'm surprised there hasn't been more defectors or firings in the first year based on how the first term went,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to happen.
Right.
Susie
'cause the
Dubs
thing-
is keeping him in line.
That's exactly. And she loves them all.
Not
Big fan of
herself, but
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, and just like the Trump one was so like half the people were like we can keep it together, and they realized they can't, and then also Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon, there was this effective effort then that got people out, even though they just sort of went into the shadows and waited. But this, I don't know. Either nobody or like a bunch of people next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see Vance going anywhere. I can't see Rubio going anywhere.
Duffy's probably going to stick around.
That would be funny if it's
It would
just
be.
Duffy gone and he's like, this guy was terrible. I got a terrible recommendation from Puck or whoever recommended. This guy, he's the worst. He could barely do the challenge, the road rules, real world challenge. No, I feel like Duffy's not going anywhere. Bondi is tough. I think it depends on what happens tomorrow, aka 2 weeks ago, with what gets released. I don't anticipate any huge bombshells, just more of the same of stuff that's made him of. I'm talking about the Epstein files, and you will know by the time you listen to this what's in there. Probably. I feel like Bondi has done her best to be extremely deferential in public and has done the minimum of just when Trump wants something done at the Department of Justice, just being like, call Todd Blanche and make him do it. Like, I don't want to have this stain on me, but I'm not going to stop you. Maybe that's enough for Trump.
Yeah, because she's doing the effort. She's probably explaining it's not like you're putting me in a tough spot. I'm trying.
Lauren Boebert. gonna get caught shoplifting.
Well, that's a 10 out of 10. That's probably happened already, and we just haven't seen the report yet.
It came to
funny.
me.
Katie, that's so funny.
Right?
I mean, listen, there's an
one.
epidemic of shoplifting, and she's the ringleader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're locking up the deodorant because of Lauren Boebert.
It's super believable.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, she was.
And that's my last one.
She was giving a handy during Beetlejuice. Of course, it makes sense.
Allegedly on camera.
Vaping.
I'm gonna Google this because I feel like that's happened already.
I mean,
It could have.
yeah, did it? Maybe.
No, I guess not.
I started to be like Laura Loomer, and I was like, no, Lauren Boebert. I don't need to put some fanciness on her last name.
I have Cody. You go.
Vance and or Trump, R word on stage or in an interview. Casually.
Sure.
Casual R word.
Didn't you predict that for this year though?
Yeah, but Trump did it in a tweet, so we're getting closer.
We are getting closer.
Before he dies.
My last one is that Dr. Oz will go on stage and talk about how much it costs to do a vaginoplasty or create a penis and how it's extra if you add testicles. Oh, wait, he just did that this morning.
Stop.
We're not going to talk about this at the thing, so you want to play the clip from
Sure.
at this point several weeks ago?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have some fun.
Vaginoplasty, a procedure a child does not need, costs $60,000. Shockingly, a phalloplasty, the creation of a penis, costs on average in America, according to this data, high quality, $150,000 per child. I do believe, with doing some work, that these prices have continued to increase with increasing manufacturer demand. And I must point out that the creation of a vagina, in that case of a phalloplasty, or a scrotoplasty where you add testicles, that's extra.
The testicles, that'll cost you extra.
This is because they're doing this horrible, evil thing of trying to defund any hospital that does gender-affirming care for children. And so they are
conflating a lot of things.
They're pretending that penises are being made for children all over the place.
Yeah.
What a freak, weird thing to be doing, talking about on stage.
It's the beginning of the middle of September. You know what that means. It's the fall-coated end of the...
We've done your homework. Do we want to talk about Elon Musk on Katie Miller's podcast? Jonathan, I know that you've got lots of thoughts.
All right, so this is, we might have to cut some of this out for the show. I'll play the whole clip here. This is Elon Musk on Katie Miller's, Stephen Miller's wife's podcast.
I hate that she's got my name.
But
she spells it wrong.
it differently.
Wrong.
And
She spells
right
it wrong.
before this, the question is, what would you do if you started over with $1,000?
I'd like to actually also highlight that the person sharing this, some like right-wing blue check propagandist, he is saying Elon Musk gives the most Elon answer to this question, and he is correct, but not in the way that he seems to be implying.
Richest person in the world, what would you do if you had to start over again with $1,000?
If you had to start from scratch today with only $1,000, what would you do?
Well, I did originally come to North America with like, I don't know, $2,500 Canadian, so I don't know, maybe $2,000 US. One bag of books and one bag of clothes in Montreal at age 17. So that is how I started out.
No, you didn't. I mean, maybe technically, your father had an emerald mine.
Mm-hmm.
You were
that he claims that he didn't, even though there are interviews that have been scrubbed from the internet that have him talking about how they did.
Unbelievably rich person your entire life. If you came with that amount literally, doesn't mean that's all you had. You fuck.
At this point, I have a lot of knowledge. A lot of things would have to go wrong for that to be the case. It's like, am I just emerging from prison, perhaps? With a stipend? All my companies have been confiscated. I mean, it would take Armageddon, which hopefully that doesn't happen. Like Ragnarok next level, and I lost.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What a terrible interviewer. Like, just clarify your point. Your question isn't.
Well, she's flustered by his
I know.
charm. She can't get past his oozing charm.
It's just obviously the point of this question is, yeah, we know you're the richest man in the world. We get it, Elon. What if you weren't? What is the advice you would give someone that wants to get ahead in life
Exactly.
who only has $1,000? It is a hypothetical. You, the brilliant mind that we all should be worshiping because you're so ahead of the curve. Tell me, how can I make this $1,000 into something to sustain me, to build my life, to build my own empire? And he doesn't have an answer.
Well, he does.
does
We will
not.
get to it.
He does.
He does have an
Okay, he
answer.
does.
It is an
Yeah.
absurd answer. But right, I think we should emphasize that now, that Elon Musk appears to be unable to understand the concept of a hypothetical question. Not what if you lost all of your money because of some catastrophe, but like the snap of the fingers, you have $1,000, but it's 2025. What do you do now? He
What
does
do
not
you do?
understand this question. And fine if understanding conditional hypotheticals isn't the thing that racist Nazis bring up to try to prove that other people are stupid. And I don't want to go into the whole thing, but there was a whole Tim Pool thing where he watched Elon Musk being interviewed by Don Lemon and said that Don Lemon didn't understand a conditional hypothetical, and that meant that he was stupid. And racists on 4chan use this to...
Yes, they love it. They love this.
They love it. So it's just very, very striking that Elon Musk does not seem to understand what a hypothetical question is. So that's why he's
Yes.
like, well, I'm so smart, that wouldn't happen. Oh, and also, that would need, like, Armageddon to happen. And then you'll hear him talk about, like, if Armageddon happened, but money is still valuable.
Exactly. It's
You
very
stupid idiot.
every step of the way, he's still just not doing it. Also, like, it's like he can't, it's not even just that like he doesn't understand the hypothetical, he can't because of his ego and narcissism and his just view of himself. He like can't get past this idea. I can't imagine myself like that. It would never happen to me. So I can't hear your question. Your insult, like it's like he's insulted by it. I also love the idea of so there's Armageddon and I didn't win, or like and I lost. Wait, so you want to be like the Armageddon overlord?
You're
Is
the
that,
comet?
Like, your scenario? Exactly. Like, just again, Katie, to your point, she is really not doing a good job. And
It's so bad.
Just say, okay, I'm asking you to give advice. That's it. It's just asking for advice.
I don't think that I'm the best interviewer, but he's just interject. Just clarify your question even. You can...
And again, we can, we're not going to get into this, but like, she's enamored. She's like,
She's enamored.
I mean, there have been rumors of their like relationship.
Oh, yeah.
She left the White House to work for him and then
Exactly.
left that to start this.
But now she's also kind of still like promoting XAI a lot or something. It's unclear, but they clearly have something going on, and that's why she is acting like this.
It felt too easy to include something about them in my predictions for 2026. So
Yeah.
I didn't, but I'm just saying that.
I do
Okay.
want to keep watching his
You gotta
response
keep going.
as he
There's more.
on this fascinating podcast, on this thing that has tons of listenership and viewership.
I mean, it's impossible for me for someone to have that amount of knowledge, all the knowledge that I have, and then be dropped down to a low resource amount. Because the reality is that either something truly catastrophic has happened, like civilization has melted, or I will be able to ask people to just give me money, and with the promise that I will have a high return, which is what I'm able to do right now.
Yeah.
Like, if you give me $1, you will get back much more than $1.
Pause. Then explain how.
Yeah.
That's the question.
I'm dying
If
to know.
I have $1, I can turn it into more money. How? Explain how. The question, it started with $1,000. You've dropped it down to $1, and you're saying that you can do it. Explain how. That's the question, Elon. answer her question. Sorry.
Well, it's because of his knowledge, and if he was dropped down to a low resource environment, he'd be able to. What a piece of shit this guy is. But yes, he refuses to actually answer the question. We're 90 seconds into this shit. She laughs, and she does kind of look over a few times of like, should I get him to wrap it up? Should I just interject? He doesn't know what he's saying. He's just like pontificating and blowing himself up as some genius. His answer is, I'm a genius, so I'd make more money.
Okay, as a genius, could
All right,
you
let's finish. Let's
answer
finish, and we can cut
question?
it if we don't.
Yes.
So this is it's somewhat of an impossible dichotomy because civilization would have had to have been destroyed or something. In which case, $1,000 is not going to solve your problems. You know, you can't do much with this. If you're wandering around radioactive craters and you're in like, you know, fallout or whatever, then $1,000 is not going to solve anything. And if civilization hasn't melted, then you probably just talk people into giving me money, which I've done before.
Listen. Even More News is not in the top 20 Spotify podcasts or any of that stuff,
What?
right? We're not. So I don't want to just
Like
be
and
like,
subscribe.
you can't get a bunch of listeners to your podcast, but you're a famous person who's an integral part or was a major piece of the MAGA movement, whose husband is one of the top 10 pieces of the MAGA movement, and you're interviewing the richest person in the world, supposedly a genius, supposedly like the most interesting man alive. This is dull as shit.
It's so boring.
I could barely watch it the first time it was passed around. I was like, how do we like it is obviously very, very funny that he can't do it, but it is so dull. And like, how is this? Cut this out. Why did you not cut this out? You can edit stuff. You don't have to post the whole thing.
Right.
It's a bad
Yeah.
question. It's a fine question, I guess, to ask somebody like this, but I feel like literally any other millionaire or billionaire would have a real answer.
The core, what he's saying is, you can't do that much with $1,000. That $1,000 isn't going to save you. $1,000 is a lot of money to some people. It's all that they have. But we're talking, it's just so fucking wild and mind-blowing to me to be like, but he's also like, but you know, if you're just smart enough, you'll be able to figure it out, but that $1,000 isn't going to move the needle, essentially. Is like, and then extrapolate that a little bit and apply it to people that are struggling, that can't afford their rent. The vast majority of people in this country that do not have the resources that you have.
But he also said that he could turn $1 into a lot of money.
Yeah, he also did. And he's also said this past week, there was these tweets thread of him going around of him saying in the future, we won't need savings because commodities, everything will be so cheap, and whatever it is, whatever his vision that he doesn't dare explain how it becomes that reality, but people will be living in his belief, we'll be living in a world where people will not need savings because we'll all have it covered.
I just did the back of the napkin math, by which I mean on the calculator app. $1,000 to him, he has 600 billion. $1,000 to him is like 100th of a penny to the median American.
That's wild.
Like nothing.
You did that math. You fucking did that math real quick.
Mean, you know, yes, but with a calculator. But like, and I estimated what the median American has, so probably even like. It's not like asking him a normal question like that is confounding to him. And so it's striking that someone with the knowledge that I have, someone with his knowledge can't even like come up with something. Probably because he doesn't know. $1,000, I wouldn't. I'd stay poor.
The easiest answer you could do is say, like, find out the basic blah, 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 and then take what you can and invest that into this thing or whatever. Any sort of...
But even, like, an acceptable answer from him would be like, well, I would take like an in-demand product. I would buy as much of a high-demand product that I could for $1,000, and then like go to a place where there's a low supply of that product and sell it for high. And so by the end of the week, I'd have like $4,000 or $5,000. And so by the end of 6 weeks, you just extrapolate that, and I'd have $50,000. Like, say that. Pick a thing.
That's a really good answer.
It's not going to help anybody.
If you close your eyes, sounds like a smarter version of Elon Musk said it. But that's a basic
also
answer.
Still it's a basic answer. It's a little bit untethered to reality for a person that has basic needs.
It's not a real
However,
thing.
Right,
you could easily make that and then move on. But instead, it's an opportunity for him to say, I'm too smart to ever be in that situation.
Yeah, I do think these people are like, I brought this up the other day, and because last year it was like these people are weird, and I do think there's something about like these people aren't interesting, and because they have all this power, they think they're inherently interesting, and so that's why you have to watch a town hall with Erica Kirk, or like 2-hour podcasts with Elon Musk or Kash Patel and his girlfriend. Like there's a huge disconnect of like what's interesting and compelling, and even Joe Rogan, which is a show that I don't watch or listen to, especially after I spent a lot of time watching and listening to it for the episode. Like, he has a conversation with people. It's a frustrating conversation, but he has like comedians on, or he gets like a doctor on to spew some nonsense or something. But this is just like, well, I'll get someone who's famous and important, and just naturally talking to them for an hour is going to be really compelling. There's no way it won't be.
It's also... It's so frustrating.
There are so many ways it won't be.
Literally anything that he says, people want to watch, or she says, like they're so divorced from the reality of what good content is, or what people are interested in seeing, or it's a spectacle now. People might turn in, what is Elon going to say? But they don't know what they're doing. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, it's
obviously
it's all illusions, simulacrum they've all made, where they're lifting themselves up and being like, see, we're actually incredibly, incredibly interesting and fascinating. You want to listen to everything we have to say. Hey, Kash Patel, how often do you travel to see your girlfriend?
What? Like, I get that it seems easy because we all have conversations with people and we all have fun conversations, and we're like, oh, that would be easy. But like, Terry Gross is a really good interviewer for a reason. It's a skill. It took a long time. You like ask someone something, you wait a little bit, you like see what they're and like it's like hard to do. Like, it's very hard to do, and you can tell Katie Miller was just like, well, what's my next move? Well, I know a lot of famous Republican people, and we have fun when we chat. I'll just chat with them, and it's going to be easy. And like, maybe she'll get better at it, right? Like, people get better at things over time. But like even some of those actors on actors things are like, okay, Ethan Hawke talking to Sydney Sweeney is kind of interesting. Like, Ethan Hawke, I have another, like, we won't watch it, but Ethan Hawke was on Joe Rogan recently, and it's interesting because Ethan Hawke is an interesting guy with an interesting perspective on stuff.
Right.
Yes. But you know who's not? Barry Weiss.
No.
Katie Miller. That's sort of like the thing. I mean, we've seen it all year, and we're going to see it more and more. They just, because they won the election in a landslide, they think that they won everything, and that they are the culture now, and it's just not going to work out for them.
It's the Trump Kennedy Center. It's not the Kennedy Center, right? It's like we get to control culture and entertainment and what everyone
but it's off-putting and annoying, and it's just it's slowly falling apart.
Oh, here's a new prediction: the Katie Miller Show will not exist
that's fair.
By the end of the year.
Before we go, I think we should end on something a little light, a little not related to the people that we don't like talking about, but we have to every day. There's a really funny quote from Sigourney Weaver that is about her time on the Mandalorian and Grogu set that I just wanted to read.
Grogu!
You love Grogu, Katie.
I do love
Grogu. So this is a quote about Grogu. There's the Grogu. She talks about, like, she got to hang out with a bunch of Grogus on set because they've got different Grogus for it. There's the Grogu that walks sometimes, and the Grogu that does weird faces, and then there's another Grogu that does that, whatever it is, the Force, and they're like 6 people who have to almost travel in a little clump around the main Grogu. I just find it fascinating. I love being behind the scenes for something like that. I love that she is carrying on this Harrison Fordian torch of not caring or knowing anything about Star Wars.
Whatever
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
pretty
The
great.
Force.
Whatever it is, the Force. Yeah, like it's been decades and you don't even know what the Force is. It's so funny. I love that for her.
Meanwhile, she's like, we found out a different origin of the xenomorph back in
I know
Prometheus. But
exactly. And like, yeah, like if you talk to Harrison Ford about Indiana Jones or Blade Runner, he like loves it. He's a huge fan. But Star Wars is like, I don't know, you flip a switch. Yeah, come on, it's pretend. That's so good.
Yeah, I shot
good for her.
I shot the alien guy. Who cares? I swear I saw Harrison Ford at the farmer's market at the Grove last week, walking by, pushing
Really?
a little cart, and like no one else was stopping and looking around, and I just went, oh, and then I saw him from behind, and I was like 90% sure that's Harrison Ford. And then I just kept watching, and everyone was doing their thing.
No one cared?
Yeah. I didn't know
People
earring.
haven't seen Harrison
so maybe
No earring.
Frode.
Mm.
Maybe if people just haven't seen him lately. They didn't watch 1929 or whatever. Did you guys watch that?
1920. Oh, the Yellowstone show. No,
Oh,
Prequel.
no.
The prequel.
The prequel to Yellowstone? No, I didn't.
Is
did
okay.
not see it. But
Didn't notice.
I'd
He's
recognize
good.
the
He's
guy.
fun. Helen
Whatever.
Mirren. Oof.
Recognize
What
her
a
too.
force.
I didn't see her.
Recognize her.
You know what I recognize? It's time to wrap
It's
this
the
up.
end of the show.
It's the end of the show. We are all showed up, ready to tackle the new year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, folks, I hope you had a good holiday. I hope you are easing back into the swing of things. I hope you feel bolstered by our predictions, which are all definitely coming true.
Mm-hmm.
And most of all, I hope that you know that we still
Whoa.
love you very much.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. March!
Much.
Well, it may be the new year, but we're starting off with a bang for Donald Trump. His Department of Justice, his Immigration and Customs Enforcement removal operation has been found by the chief federal judge in Utah to have violated the habeas corpus rights of a migrant and the court's order to ground the plane and not remove them during the course of the habeas corpus proceedings. This has to do with somebody named Federico Reyes Vasquez, but more importantly, Chief Judge Jill Parrish, who pulled everybody together in a hearing, made it clear she didn't want the petitioner under the great writ, the writ of habeas corpus, to determine whether they should be released ultimately from federal detention and removal process, did not want that person thrown on a plane and sent away to the middle of Mexico outside of federal jurisdiction, because that's the trick that these federal judges are on to with the Trump administration. Oh, you're going to move them away from my jurisdiction and then argue, Judge, you have no jurisdiction over them? You know, I'm going to order you to facilitate them coming back. See, there's a case created by Donald Trump, a precedent against him from the spring and summer involving a guy named Abrego Garcia out of the United States Supreme Court 9-0, which every judge is now citing for the proposition that they have the power to require and demand somebody that's been illegally, against court order, removed away from the United States to be facilitated and brought back. And the judge went one step further in terms of her sanctions and what she's requiring the federal government to do to fix this problem. And I'm going to cover it right here on Legal AF. Thanks for being a part of our community. Subscribe below. We need to be as big and robust in 2026 as ever. And thank you to all who are subscribed to our Substack and become a paid member off of our recent sale. 2,000 people became a paid member. I'm doing 2 lives a day over at Legal AF Substack. Hit the link below, become a member. Let's get back to Judge Jill Parrish, Chief Judge in Utah. Very interesting background for Judge Parrish I wanted to share with you. Her history. First of all, she was an assistant U.S. attorney herself in the Civil Rights Division in Utah. Longtime Utah resident, supremely well respected. So well respected, not only was she appointed and put on the Utah Supreme Court, where she was for 12 years before she became a federal judge, but when Barack Obama nominated her, she was confirmed, get this, 100-0 by the Senate. 100-0. Can you imagine those days? And that was just about 10 years ago. All right, so you're not going to trifle with Jill Parrish. She became the chief judge last October of 2025. And here's what she had to say in her memorandum decision. And I'm going to post it on Legal AF Substack for our paid members today. On December 19th, petitioner Federico Reyes Vasquez filed a petition for a writ of habeas corpus. That is the great writ. That is the way, that is the ultimate safety valve and firewall. If you're ever in trouble, if you're ever detained against your will, if you're the Count of Monte Cristo, you file a writ of habeas corpus with your lawyers under the Constitution, in federal court, to demand that you be brought before a federal judge in order to be able to argue for your release. It's serious. Judges take it seriously. It is the method that the United States Supreme Court has said, based on the Trump precedent that's been developed in the last year, is the method for people who are migrants, who are being detained and or removed. This is the mechanism to use to get before the court. So it got her attention. He says that he was unlawfully confined in violation of the United States Constitution. The court continues. On December 22, the court, seeking a response from Kristi Noem and ICE before ruling on the petition, but seeking to preserve its jurisdiction and the status quo before getting the ruling. In other words, let's hold the pin, hold the ring, don't remove anybody. Let's just all get together and talk about the writ of habeas corpus on full briefing, shall we? Ordered the government not to remove Mr. Reyes Vasquez. The next day, Mr. Reyes Vasquez was removed to apparently Mexico in direct violation of the court's order. The respondents stated the following in their filing, sort of an admission, Quote, while the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, was made aware of the order of removal by 2 emails on December 22nd at 4:21 and December 23rd at 10:21. Apparently, the memo didn't get received by the removal operations of ICE. They were not aware. Well, stop right there. Whose fault is that? This is the government saying, well, we were aware at ICE, but that guy over there who works for ICE wasn't aware. Well, whose fault is that? The blame is on you. You need to tell everybody in the chain of command that's responsible for removal operations not to remove. That's the person that should have got the notice. What, some other person eating a tuna fish sandwich one day? Oh, this is interesting. Judge just said Mr. Vasquez, whoever that is. And by the way, I went through, there are 1 million Vasquezes that are bringing writs of habeas corpus petitions. ICE does, however, state, the judge says on page 2, via an affidavit, that ICE will coordinate with petitioner's attorney to facilitate his return if the petitioner so chooses. Yes, the petitioner doesn't want to be in Mexico. That's why they wanted the writ of habeas corpus. What do you think you were doing? One of those freebie self-deportations on air ICE? They then held a hearing. Where else? New Year's Eve. Counsel for the respondents acknowledged the removal was in violation of the court's order, of course. Now the judge gets around to sanctions. First, she says, I have the power to order the facilitation by the government of Mr. Vasquez's return, citing to Nome versus Abrego Garcia, the case from Judge Zinnes, 9-0, supported by the United States Supreme Court. This is the case, the totemic case, the touchstone that federal district court judges are now using to beef up their power to order somebody who is away from their jurisdiction to come back. See, generally, if somebody's outside the jurisdiction of the federal court, there's nothing that can be done. But if it's in contempt or in violation of an order, the Supreme Court is recognizing for now the ability of the district court to order them to come back. Very interesting, right? Because the people that can facilitate are here under her jurisdiction. Now she turns to sanctions. She says in footnote 1, that the petitioner's counsel informed the court that the petitioner is in central Mexico and lacks the funds to easily return. Therefore, the court holds that facilitating means providing by the government either transportation to a port of entry or financial support to reach a port of entry. So that's what she's requiring. She's also awarding attorney's fees. She's like, listen, why should this, whoever his lawyer is, which I'm sure is doing it pro bono for free or as a public defender, but they incurred cost, they incurred time. Why should they suffer? Put the money into the public defender's fund. So she's ordering that the court finds that attorney's fees are warranted, citing to Supreme Court precedent. The court invites counsel for petitioner to submit a petition for attorney's fees relevant to ensuring his return to the United States, including a fee affidavit. And she's going to award those fees. And then she wants a status report wants the return within 21 days and a status report 10 days of this order, which was New Year's Eve, updating the court as to the status of the return. This is what judges are left to do now. And this is not the only person who's been sent illegally, just like Abrego Garcia, over a court order outside of the country to avoid jurisdiction. I don't know if it's an administrative snafu or it's done intentionally. It's a combination, because Stephen Miller, who is Donald Trump's domestic president for internal security and immigration and migration removal, effectively, who hates black and brown people and hates immigrants. I mean, you can just hear it in his voice. In fact, I'll play a clip. He's in charge. He holds a meeting every day that's been reported on, where he talks about getting at least 3,000 people a day out of this country, and puts everybody on ICE and immigration and Department of Justice and FBI on the line for a daily briefing about how many people have been deported. Yeah. Let me play a clip of Stephen Miller talking about immigration. Play a clip.
Hold on, it's just a question back there first.
I have 2 quick questions. First, President Trump has talked about potentially suspending habeas corpus to take care of the illegal immigration problem. When could we see that happen, do you think?
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land. that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not. At the end of the day, Congress passed a body of law known as the Immigration and Nationality Act, which stripped Article 3 courts, that's the judicial branch, of jurisdiction over immigration cases. So Congress actually passed, it's called jurisdiction stripping legislation. It passed a number of laws that say that the Article 3 courts aren't even allowed to be involved in immigration cases. Many of you probably don't know this. I'll give you a good example. Are you familiar with the term temporary protected status, or TPS, right? So by statute, the courts are stripped of jurisdiction from overruling a presidential determination or a secretarial determination on TPS when the Secretary of Homeland Security makes that determination. So when Secretary Noem terminated TPS for the illegals that Biden flew into the country, when courts stepped in, they were violating explicit language that Congress had enacted, saying they have no jurisdiction. So it's not just the courts aren't just at war with the executive branch, the courts are at war, these radical rogue judges, with the legislative branch as well, too. So all of that will inform the choices the president ultimately makes, yes.
Mr. Miller. All right, we're going to continue to follow it all right here. Thank you for becoming a part of the Legal AF community.